Manhattan. Some of the most expensive real estate in America. In a city full of skyscrapers, it's hard for a building to stand out. But this one might just do it. They've called it 157. It's 1,000 feet of concrete, steel, and glass. And when complete, it will be the highest residential tower in the city.
The view that everybody knows 157 for is the centered on Central Park view. There are literally no views like this in Manhattan.
It's been clear from the start that this is the building's biggest selling point. Seen from the comfort of an apartment 1,000 feet up. And if you're paying millions of dollars for this view, the last thing you want is dirty windows. It's April 3rd, and the workers are gearing up to put the building's roof in place. When they're finished, the whole skyscraper will be sealed beneath it. But before that can happen, one last piece of equipment, vital to the building's operation, must be installed. It's 30 feet long. It weighs 20 tons. And it's going all the way up to the roof. Because a ladder and a squeegee won't cut it here. This is what's needed to make sure 157's 8,400 windows are always crystal clear.
In some of these apartments, you get a full wraparound view of New York City, uptown, downtown, towards Brooklyn, Queens, and Jersey. It would be upsetting not to have these windows cleaned.
Juan Portelis is responsible for what will be the Rolls-Royce of window washers. A fully rotating telescopic crane that will lower a basket 1,000 feet down a vertical wall of glass and enable a cleaning crew to keep those million-dollar views spotless.
$50 million for an apartment, my window's dirty, I'd definitely be upset.
The rig's 24-piece telescopic boom will be assembled once it's safely on the roof. The team will then attach it to the heavy-duty base unit. This morning's task is to get this piece to the top of the skyscraper. And they can't afford any holdups.
It is a good-looking building, that's for sure.
But lifting a 20-ton piece of steel 1,000 feet above Manhattan, just inches from a multi-million-dollar glass curtain wall, is a highly risky operation. It's crane operator Kurt Messinger who's paid to feel the pressure.
The challenge of hoisting any material, especially large materials, and the time it takes it to get up here, almost 6 minutes sometimes. A lot can happen in 6 minutes. Doesn't seem very long, but it can be an eternity. At this elevation, 1,100 feet, it could be calm down in the street. But up here, you'll have winds exceeding 20, 25 miles an hour just on a nice day. The vortices, as they come around through the buildings, they'll take that material, that load, and they'll start moving it left and right, spinning it. It's good when it's good, but when things go wrong, it can get ugly.
All right, the piece is coming up, boys. Let's go.
For the next 6 minutes, Juan can do nothing more than watch. As the boom leaves the shelter of the surrounding buildings, it's exposed to the full force of the wind, which is swirling around the tower.
All right, yo, Frankie, Willow, let's go.
This is where Kurt's skills and his years of experience really come into play.
Just like that is where we need it.
With the boom at the desired height, the trick now is to bring it across to the building without inducing a potentially lethal swing.
Motor goes to the front. Motor goes to the front. Willow. Frankie, grab that rope with him. Watch that. Watch the cross member.
Right, just hold it steady and he'll do the rest.
Nice and easy, nice and easy.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
On deck.
20 minutes after it left the ground,
Oh, this is gonna be beautiful.
the boom sits safely on the skyscraper's roof.
Frankie, just break off the back one too.
You got it, young man. Beautiful job there.
What follows is 2 days of reassembling the boom arm before the main event, attaching it to the base unit. It's 48 hours after the big lift. Today, Juan's team will attempt to complete the rig installation.
What's going on, John?
But there's been a worrying development. There's a storm coming. Storms and cranes don't mix. No one knows that better than the people working on 157. On October 29th, 2012, Hurricane Sandy tore through New York. Winds of over 80 miles an hour battered the city. And 157 and its crane found themselves in the direct path of the hurricane. Subjected to its full force, the crane's 26,000-pound boom was snapped in half, leaving it hanging perilously over the streets below.
Authorities in New York City are now carefully watching a crane that is dangling from a high-rise in Manhattan.
It collapsed in high winds earlier today, and it has been dangling precariously, dangerously off the top of that building, which has become known in Manhattan as the Global Billionaires Club.
I mean, the hurricane wasn't part of the package. That was a scary episode when, the crane fell over backwards. Luckily, it did not disconnect. One of the good things we saw is that this building stood up to a hurricane and getting smacked by a crane boom and didn't budge. So we know it's a pretty darn strong building.
What project manager Juan Portelis knows is that he has just a matter of hours to get the job finished and the boom arm secure.
Every night it's tough sleeping, just keeping the thoughts of this piece going up and, making everything safe for everybody. You're basically trying to get a round cylinder through a hole, and you're using a crane to try to line you up so we can get the pin in. So it's very challenging. The thing is, they gotta go down and rig it right now.
On the roof of the skyscraper, Juan's team reconnects the boom arm to the crane's super-strength hook.
Start doing what you gotta do up there.
And the 20-ton boom is eased off the ledge. But as the crane operator carefully maneuvers the rig towards the base unit, the storm is closing in faster than anyone here predicted.
Right now, we got a storm approaching, and we've got to go ahead with the final installation of the arm. We have no other choice but to get everything connected. It actually looks like it's going to start pouring like any minute now, and we're just going to have to suck it up and just stay out there and just get soaked till we secure everything. Hold that right there, Angel!
As the rain gets heavier, the team now faces a race against time to guide the boom arm into position. Until it's secured within the base tower, the crane must continue to bear its massive weight.
You got to do it from down there. Make sure the flange is on the outside.
But that's not the team's only concern. They have to get the window washing rig disconnected from the crane before the storm hits. If the two are still anchored to each other, the force of the wind on the crane could rip the entire structure from the building.
At this point, we have no choice. We have to work with the weather. We have to move quickly and safely as possible to try to get this secured onto the unit itself. Once it's secured, the crane can release itself and we should be okay. Yeah, the inside, take that off. That was just there to help you line it up. Yeah.
The last piece of the puzzle is a 100-pound pin, which must join the arm and the base together. Easier said than done, from a cherry picker hanging 1,000 feet above Manhattan.
No, we got grease in there. We got a ton of grease.
Finally, after 45 minutes, it's time to hammer it into position.
Go, Lou, go! Hey, right there, you can hear it.
Oh, we've met already.
For Juan, this is the culmination of 8 weeks planning.
It's like a ton off my chest, because I know now it's secured. I can walk away from the job for today and not worry about anything. The machine is secure up on the roof.
Juan can now sleep at night, and the residents of the billionaire building will get the view they paid for. When he was last here, his machine was exposed to the elements. Now it's fully enclosed under an electronically operated sliding glass roof. Today, he'll carry out the first test run of the machine that can lower a window cleaning basket down a 1,000-foot wall of glass, ensuring the city's newest skyscraper dazzles.
You want to shake out any bugs, anything that the machine can possibly go wrong. Every switch is working the way it's supposed to, cut off when it's supposed to. It should be smooth sailing. Two of my fellow workers, they'll be the first ones on it. But they've been here with me putting it together, so they'll be comfortable with it. That's our next step.
Juan's work on the most sophisticated window cleaning rig ever constructed is almost complete, but he's not ready to walk away just yet.
Every machine that we put up, somehow I always make my way back, make sure the loving, tender care that I put in to put it in is continuing after I leave. They're basically my little kids, and I'm taking this one close to heart. This machine can be seen from anywhere in New York City right now. Queens, Brooklyn, New Jersey. We had the machine out, and we had several helicopters in the area, and that night it actually came out in the news. Nobody has a clue what it's for. This thing looks like a rocket launcher ready to shoot out a missile. Very high profile. It's a high profile building with a high profile machine.